This flag should be blue. It shouldn't be red. Why the hell is it red and not blue? Well, no, Pavel. Unfortunately, it doesn't have to be blue. And what about pants? What if I told you that pants must not drop? But they do. It's called law of gravity. Pants just drop, and no sane person would ever argue with that. No, well, pants must not drop. I hate it when they drop. You must not drop. Damn it. Well, apart from him, anyway. The point is that pants drop, breakups happen, people have OCD, people have brain fogs. Bad stuff happens, but that doesn't mean that it shouldn't be happening, no matter what we tell ourselves about it. Wait a minute. What the hell is this guy trying to tell me? Is he trying to tell me that I'm stupid? Is he making me stupid? He shouldn't be doing that. Listen, calm down. All I'm trying to tell you is what this guy already tried to tell people all the way back in the 50s, and what these guys tried to tell people all the way back 2,000 years ago. Over 2,000 years ago. And it's this. If you're trying to accept something, you need to get rid of all your musts, shoulds, and other demands that you put on reality. Let me say it again. If you want to accept something, you need to let go of your musts, shoulds, demands about reality. In the West, Stoicism has been very key to our idea of acceptance. And unlike the Eastern acceptance, here we base acceptance on this is my values, this is my goals, and if something happens that blocks me away from living those values or achieving those goals, it makes me frustrated. But I can adapt to that, I can overcome that. As opposed to sort of Buddhistic, I have no desires, no goals to begin with. So whatever happens in this present moment is part of this moment, and I can't just let it be. Oh, I love my life right now. I love all that the present moment contains. Using all the senses. Using the senses. Because let's go back to that pen example. Pans inevitably do fall. But if we insist that they must not fall, well then we will probably be taken right out to the nearest mental health hospital. Pans must not fall! They must not fall! If it falls again, I'm gonna kill myself. Quite frankly. We would just be considered crazy. And Albert Ellis, the guy from before, he used to call these musts masturbation. He used to say that we masturbate over reality, which is kind of a weird way to put it. But essentially he meant, hey, this drops, your relationship may break up, Danish flag may not be blue as you would wish, but that's how it is. Deal with it. I think it was Shia LaBeouf. Who was like, deal with it. Or was it, no, I'm sorry, it was just do it. Just do it. In the Nike commercial, but I will change that happily to deal with it. Deal with it. Pants fall, whatever stuff that you're afraid of may happen, and that's life. Don't masturbate over it. Thank you, Ellis. So when we go back to our pan example, well, pans do fall. And the guy from before, he's already on his way to the nearest mental health hospital. But why should it be different with breakups? Why would someone who would insist that pants should not be falling, they must not be falling, put into a mental health hospital and be considered crazy, and someone who insists, oh, my breakup shouldn't have happened, it must not happen, I must not break up, wouldn't? Oh, she should be breaking up with me right now. She must not break up with me. Well, but it seems to me that you don't see reality here, my friend, because, you know, it wouldn't be something that must not happen. People do break up. So where is your must, apart from your head? Is there a law of the universe, just like law of gravity, that would say that people must not break up or that they must not break up with you? Well, unfortunately, I've never heard of such a law, but maybe you can enlighten me. Yes, but it's still so awful. Um, it would be bad, but it wouldn't be as awful as you see it, because glass is usually half full, more so than half empty. Or it can be completely empty, like in my case now, but I hope when I reach back that I'll find it actually half full, which it often is, but so excuse that, but you know, life, even if it's half of the glass, you may see it as half empty, which is bad, but not as completely awful. You know, some people would saw their glass half empty, they'll be like, "Oh, I broke up," and they would insist that it's awful, but it's not. Concentration camps will be worse. You being in World War II, worse. You being in medieval times, worse. You never subscribing to this channel, way worse. Yes, but still, I mean, it's just so uncomfortable. I cannot stand this. Well, guess what? You can. You know, I don't know if I leave this avocado, which I just find by chance on my window here, on the sun here in front of a window for too long, well, it's probably not going to stand that very well. It's probably not going to survive that over time, and it's going to be eaten by all these bacteria or what have you. But if you go through a breakup, I'm sorry to break it to you, my friend, but you're probably going to survive that. It's not going to be pleasant, you're right, but it's not like, oh, I can't stand it. That's not true. That's not true. You can. You dealt with 100% out of 100% of your worst days. You've survived them all, and you will survive this as well. So hopefully by now you see the point. You know, Danish flags and pans and avocados, or is it mangoes? I don't even know myself anymore. But anyway, guys, the point is that Albert Ellis came up in the 50s, and he basically said that people have a way better life than they think, but we have this thing that he called the irrational gene, which thinks in extreme and rigid ways, and which makes to see everything much more extreme than it actually is. And it starts with us masturbating all over reality. Oh, this shouldn't happen, this must not happen, etc., etc. Then, once we do that, we tend to say that stuff that shouldn't have happened is awful and not just bad. And then, if that wasn't enough, we go into, oh, I can't stand it now. Or, you know, we just think that we're completely idiotic now, or life's completely shitty now, or someone else is complete idiot for ruining us. And all these are pretty extreme ways, because when you look at reality, you know, glass may see half empty, but it's usually half full. I mean, you're sitting here, you're not in World War II, you're watching this in the comfort of your home, most likely. Hello to all the homeless men or women out there. I'm with you. And, you know, kudos for trying to better yourself. But anyway, yeah, I really love that about Albert Ellis, because he basically said that, hey, this is reality. this is what it already is. And who is the boss here? Are you the boss or is reality the boss? Well, reality is, unfortunately. And you can either accept that and not demand something that is not here and not awfulize or go into low frustration tolerance by saying, oh, I can't stand this, I will jump out a window, by which you're making your behaviors worse and your emotions worse about that thing. Or you can realize this basic thinking error to always think extremely about everything and overdo everything in our head. And you can realize that in reality, even when you have OCD, even when you have bipolar disorder, um, emotional unstable personality disorder, what have you, even if you're homeless, um, life could still be worse. And it's sort of like tapping into gratitude, but on steroids for me. And this is what Albert Ellis called, he used to call this unconditional acceptance, which is to see life as it is, not demand it to be otherwise, and not think in extreme ways about it. Because the way you think is going to lead to the way you feel. And the way you feel is going to lead to the way that you behave. And it's all, you know, interconnected, all these three things. So, you know, it's hard to change your emotions. I can tell you don't be anxious about something. Well, good luck with that. Or I can tell you change your behavior about it. And that's kind of doable, more so than when I tell you don't be anxious about it. But where Albert Ellis would start is in your thinking. He would teach you to find your musts about reality, to realize that they're not helping you, that they're irrational and unhealthy, really, and to uproot them, to just be like a gardener who is uprooting weeds in his garden. And then to find your awfulizations or low frustration tolerances or conditional acceptances of yourself. Oh, I'm such an idiot. I shouldn't have done that. I'm such an idiot. Or someone else's. Our life is so shitty. And to uproot those as well. And that's what I think you should do for your mental health, especially OCD and related disorders. And I think that would work much more for many people than just the Eastern idea of acceptance. All is well. So yeah, I hope you guys like this video. And yeah, if we were to honor the example of Albert Ellis, we would just recognize that reality is the boss and not we, and that we should stop putting our godlike demands on reality. You know, poor old reality. I mean, look, it's not so bad that it's not blue, right? I mean, I like blue more than red, but it's just red. That's what it is. That's reality, you know? And I can either prefer for it to be blue, but recognize that, hey, I'm not God here. And I can think about my thinking and decide that no matter what happens, I will just not masturbate all over reality. Or, you know, not masturbate, like, yeah, like must, you know, like a demand, masturbate. Or I would just keep on doing so and blaming everyone else around me but me. You know, I always think of my uncle. I really like him, but he always insists and demands that people must not play loud music because he absolutely hates it. And guess what? Reality is the boss, not him. So many times, because, you know, people are reckless, that's just reality. People oftentimes, it's nice when they care about you, but oftentimes they won't. That's just human nature. That's reality. He may demand it to be otherwise all he wants, but by his own demanding, he's driving himself nuts over it. And so he's so anxious, so depressed from it, and angry that it's not really helping him. So if he would recognize his must and that he has a hand in keeping himself neurotic and depressed and anxious, then he could do a better job of accepting that people do play loud music from time to time, actually quite often where he lives, and he could deal better with it. Maybe he would buy AirPods that would block noise, or maybe he would just be more creative in his solutions. But whatever it would be, he would most certainly, I believe, accept it better than he does now. So anyway, try to find your musts, guys. Try to find where you masturbate, where you don't see reality for what it is, where you insist that it should be different than it is. And maybe they are musts about things that didn't happen yet. Maybe they are musts about things that did happen. But those are at the root of your emotional unhappiness, of your disorders. These musts, these shoulds, these demands that you place on reality. So try to find them. And hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was at least a little bit understandable. If not, then I'm sorry. I don't know why, but this topic is really difficult for me to talk about. And have a great one. And see you with part 2 on how rational motive behavioral therapy, which is a therapy that Albert Ellis, that guy from the 50s, created, can help you to accept things, especially with OCD, but also with other mental health disorders. See you, and let me know your musts down below in the comments, because those musts are the basis of your disorders more often than not. Not all disorders, not always, but especially with anxiety disorders, the so-called neurosis, they're there quite a lot. Okay, guys, I hope you like this video. Have a good one. Leave me a thumbs up if you like this. And damn, my nails are awful. I swear to cut them for the next video if you subscribe. If not, I'm just gonna go Wolverine mode the next time, all over you guys. Anyway, I hope you guys like this video. Have a good one, and peace from Denmark. See you.